Hello, my fellow exiles, and today we are talking about bottles and how to make them great again. The overview of the build, which I was trying to do in the previous league with the Deadeye, but I think with Elementalist it's more efficient and has much more damage. It's buff stacking from our golems, explosive concoction. The main idea is to stack buffs from our 5 golems with primordial bond skill, which grants us 10% increased damage per summon golem and 40% increased effect of buffs. So we're stacking effect of buffs with anomalous summon golems. And also we have some effective buffs from our golems from our elementalist ascendancy, and the main damage increases come from this keystone, which grants us 10% increased damage per summon golem. We have 9 golems because we allocate golem commander, 2 from elementalist. Also, we use primordial eminence and anima stone with primordial chain, and all in all, it gives us 9 golems and 90% increased damage uh, per allocated primordial bond. And we have it 1, 2, 3, 4, so with 360 increased damage. Also, we have a buff from our summon flame golem, accuracy and increased critical chance, buff from summon ice golem, some physical damage reduction, life regeneration, and etc. Um, so as it's not a crit build, we don't benefit from critical strike chance, but for the Uber endgame, we need to sustain our flasks, and this variant of the build cannot sustain it. But with the crit version and with allocated timeless jovel, the traitor, we can sustain our flasks perfectly. So I'll link the path of building for the crit version, and also I was thinking about the energy shield version of the build, so maybe I'll link it too if I manage to uh, get it well rounded. So this build is able to do all mapping. It's quite tanky, not for uber late game, because we lack some defenses and can do, for example, simulacrum after the 20th wave. For this, we need to swap for the critical version, and it will be better because we'll cap our block chance with the nodes, but not with glancing blows, which are provided by Skin of the Lords. So we are bleed immune, elemental ailment immune, poison immune, and we have it from our purity of elements. We have some block from Tempest Shield, some armor from Determination to replenish energy shield when block with Aegis Aurora. And we also get some implicits on our jewels that provide us with such notes as avoid being poisoned, avoid being stunned, and avoid bleeding. And that's the main key, which allows us not to use flasks with such effects. The concept is easy. We're not non-crit build. That's why we use precise technique. And be careful. Your life must be under your accuracy rating. And while shooting, mapping, and bossing with this build, I had my life more than my accuracy rating. So I lacked 40% more damage. And also, I didn't have my anointment, which I uh, which I thought that I anointed it. So I'm lacking just a huge amount of damage. So here my combined DPS per projectile is 2.2 million, and if it will be as I wanted, I need to do this. Give me a second. And the actual DPS for the build is 3 million. 3 million per projectile. And we have 5 with greater multiple projectiles. We can have also awakened one to kill one more, and the damage is enough for nearly all content. It can do Uber Exarch, it can do Uber Eater, but for um, the fights which have more phases, like Cyrus, like Uber Elder, we need to sustain flasks. That's why I switch for the crit build. For the main links, we have explosive concoction, awakened increased area of effect, awakened elemental damage with attacks, awakened ele focus, empower, and greater multiple projectiles. We have buffs from our golems and ancestral protector. We use molten shell and also blood rage and sniper's mark with mark on hit and one elemental weakness ring. So the main disadvantage of this build is the lackness of sockets for the skills, so I had to get the primordial chain amulet with purity of elements. That's why I couldn't get some good corruption, maybe damage or defensive corruption. We use Aegis Aurora to be more tanky with the replenishing. Crown of the Inward Eye for increasing our maximum life global energy shield, and it's the easiest helmet to get with the enchantment that we need. So determination, mana reservation, or purity of elements, it doesn't matter. Skin of the Lords with glancing blows. It's a huge damage boost with +2 to level of socketed gems. Glancing blows caps our block chance, and global defenses is just great for our armor and energy shield. Apparent interrogation also gives us huge amount of damage because it's just 1/3. With this is amazing, and we have pretty decent attack rate, and we have multiple projectiles, so we inflict with it very often. Legacy of Fury is good for Scorch and just for mapping to spread the burning from the killed enemies, but the anointment that I have is not that good. I think the best one will be with life regeneration, or maybe attack speed. I think attack speed if you killed recently. I think it's the best one. Penetration doesn't work, and maybe if we didn't use apparent interrogation, the penetration will be better. Primordial chain with purity of elements skill, anoint spiritual aid for increases and reductions to minion damage applied to you. Some basic rings just with strength, chaos, and elemental resistances to cap our res. We have the modifiers from the crafting bench with non-channeling skills -2 mana cost, because explosive concoction uses lots of mana and we need to sustain it. Just a basic Stygian wise with life, cold, chaos, resistance, any resistance that you need to cap. That's the same with the Abyss Jewel. For the flasks, we use Silver Flask with attack speed, Rumi's Concoction, Dying Sun, but we need to press Dying Sun before we starting to kill the boss, because Explosive Concoction wastes charges from this flask, but doesn't do any damage because it's ignite damage. And Sapphire to pass flask with +2 maximum charges. And if it's crit version, we need to charge recovery, because with that modifier we'll recover some more charges. For the jewels, we use primordial eminence to make our golems more tanky, where they are immune to elemental damage, but to give them some armor and to get effect of buffs granted by our golems. The anima stone just gives us +2 to our number of golems, and Watcher's Eye with attack speed by precision and any modifier that you want. The only mandatory modifier that we need is gaining a flask charge when you deal a critical strike, and it's only for the crit version of the build. And for jewels, we use large jewels with primordial bond, and maybe it's the only notable passive node that we need. Others can be with +2 res, maximum life, or others. And we use megalomaniacs with primordial bonds too. One with primordial bond and corrosive elements to apply all exposures, and another one with any modifier that you can get. I use Fist of Flesh to get life gain on hit because we have 5 attacks per second and 5 projectiles, and it's good amount of life gain on hit instead of life regen that our golems give us and life leech rate. We also leech energy shield with this node with elemental mastery, and also we get some our AES on block. So that's the overall concept of the build. Enjoy. It's a great version to start the league. All the items are very cheap, except maybe Aegis Aurora, but I think it's about 1x at the beginning, and Crown with the enchantment, I think about 1x2, Skin of the Lords 10 chaos, Apparent Interrogation 30 chaos, Legacy of Fury around 32, Primordial Chain have always been very cheap. Maybe Anima Stone is quite expensive at the beginning, but all the currency is manageable to get for this build. We also use Replica Conqueror's efficiency for non-channeling skills -2 mana cost. Yeah, the overall concept is here. Enjoy and like, subscribe, and leave your comments in the commentary section. Goodbye. See you soon in the next league.